Hi, I'm Jim with Pour the Juice, and in this video, we're going to find out if a store pick is better than a normal single barrel. And I've done this before with Russell's Reserve. I've done this before with Buffalo Trace. If you're interested in seeing those videos, you could find them in my page along the videos. I think I label them as distillery duels. Anyway, this time it's going to be with Blantons, as you could tell from, the thumbnail. So I have three different Blantons here. The first one in glass A, labeled by this little label thing, is going to be a Rastelli pick. So this is a Central Jersey or South Jersey store, Rastelli. And I think my wife got this for me 2 Christmases ago. Maybe last Christmas? 2 Christmases ago. So yeah, that's going to be an A. In B, I have this fresh crack. First time opening it now. Haven't tried it yet. Have no idea what it tastes like. It's fresh crack, so it shouldn't be that great. And then also, my only normal Blantons that I had open up until this point. There's a Blantons up top. You probably can't see it. It's out of view. But that's actually an infinity bottle that I have. So this is the only normal bottle of Blantons that I have open, and it is a good Blantons bottle. Yeah, let's see how we do here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these up. As I mentioned, Rastelli's is an A, Fresh Crack in B, C is the one that's been open for probably a year or two now. And yeah, I just want to see how well that Rastelli's bottle does compared to the regular single barrel Blantons. Because that's really what it's comparing. It's comparing, to me at least, whether Buffalo Trace Sazerac allows their best barrels of Blantons to be store picks, or whether they're kind of allowing them to just be their off brand Blantons. Like they just don't really seem as on par with other Blantons, so they allow them to go as picks. I have confused myself here, both in my verbiage, and in the order of glasses. So I'm going to start. It smells fantastic in here. I love the smell of Blantons, and as much as I hate on Blantons occasionally, because I do occasionally hate on Blantons, it's because of the price point, and I do think it's delicious. I just don't think it's worth the now, whatever it is, $70 or $80. It's certainly not worth secondary, but it is worth like 40 for sure. Let's get into it. Smells like a Buffalo Trace product. It smells like Blantons. This one's a little bit more grassy than what I remember a traditional Blantons to be. There's definitely like some peach in there. One thing I always get from Blantons, especially on the nose, is going to be apple. This one is a little bit less appley and more stone fruit, peachy, nectarine, which is nice. One thing I always think about with Blantons is apple juice. To me, Blantons tastes like apple juice a little bit. It smells like apple juice, which is probably why it's so popular. People love their apples. Yeah, I'm getting more of that peach on that first glass. The second glass is pretty similar. I'm getting more alcohol on this one. Less grass. And less fruit, specific fruit. Less specific fruit. Let's try this third glass. The third glass smells the best to me. It smells a little bit higher in age. I'm getting a bit more caramel in there. It's more like a candied apple to me. Yeah, it smells the best to me by far. So I'm not getting that caramel off these other two. Yeah, this is just more like fruit, like fresh fruit. I guess it's like somewhere in the middle. But let's go into tasting. It's nice, it's light, it's sweet. I get more of those the caramel brown sugar on the palate than I do on the nose for sure. A little bit less fruit on the palate, although the fruit is definitely there. Vanilla, super easy to drink. Definitely less fruit on the palate than on the nose. Let's go to the second glass. This is the glass that I said was somewhere in the middle between like a caramel apple and getting the mainly fruit on the nose. I also said this one was a little grassy, and to be honest, on the palate there is a little bit of that grassy flavor as well. This is less intense, tastes younger than the first glass. Um, not that this first glass was remarkable, but tastes less remarkable than the first glass did. The sweetness is still there. More tannins are coming through on the second sip than on the first. I don't think if I just drank this on its own, I don't think I would know it was Blantons. Um, this first one I still would, especially by the nose. Second glass is definitely in second place so far. Let's move to the third. Yeah, and this one still smells the best. The caramel apple, yeah, it just explodes out of the glass. It smells so good. This is, I've had quite a few Blantons. I've been lucky to find them. Lucky that my wife has found them for me. Um, but the best of the best Blantons that I've had are more similar to this, like more caramel and apple, caramel and fruit. And so far, that does translate pretty well on the palate. To me, it is certainly better than that, what was my second glass here, which is now my in third place. I'm not sure which is better between these two. The nose certainly has this in first, but let's see. Mm. I take a sip of it. It's the fruit is like on the edges of my tongue where the whiskey sits. Like wherever the whiskey goes on my tongue, the very edges was like fruit starburst, almost like apple starburst if there ever was such a thing. Maybe there is such a thing. Who knows? Somebody knows. Um, yeah, that's pretty good. And now this, in comparison, is tasting a little bit watery. I'll go back for one more sip. And still tasting the same way. And this is probably going to be in first place. Yep. All right. First, second, third. Now, if that fresh crack comes in third place, I'm still going to give it a chance. Maybe it just needs to open up a little bit. But we need to find out. By the way, if you've enjoyed the video, please like it. Please subscribe. It greatly does help. This is interesting. So, my last place is C, which is the bottle that's been open the longest. Which, like I said, was a pretty good bottle. Maybe it's been open too long. That's why it's a little bit watery to me. Who knows? All right. Now let's see what came in first. Well, second is the store pick. That was A. First is the fresh crack. Very interesting. Did not expect the fresh crack to come in first place. And the store pick came in the middle. So what does that mean? Well, I think it means that you shouldn't overpay for a store pick. Certainly if you're already overpaying for normal Blantons. You know, these are, like I said, now $70 to $80. I don't know exactly. I haven't bought a Blantons in forever. This fresh crack was a dump date of 2023 that I've just been sitting on. And even back then, they were like 65 bucks. I didn't think they were worth that at the time. I know people are paying, or were paying $150, $120. I think that's ridiculous. If you can find it for SRP, I wouldn't buy it for that. If you've never tried Blantons and you're dying to try one, I would say find a friend that has one, reach out to somebody, join a bourbon group on Facebook or wherever you can. If you do, people have Blantons and they'll let you try Blantons. If that fails, find a decent bar with an okay whiskey selection. A lot of them have Blantons and it's usually not too expensive. I would much rather you go to a nice restaurant and have a glass of Blantons for $20 than to go out and spend $120 on a bottle. Because my first bottle of Blantons, this might actually, no, it's not. My first bottle of Blantons, I spent $100 on, and I deeply regretted it. Again, not that's bad whiskey. Tangent. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.